Lenny, roguewarriortc.com. Told you guys 2 videos ago that this is turning into a series. Welcome to Aikido, the way that doesn't work. Episode 3. This video is going to be on Ushiro waza techniques, and I don't see a lot of people doing single videos on Ushiro waza because usually you see them in demonstrations with some of these other Aikido guys on YouTube. This is really, this is probably gonna piss off a lot of you guys because I'm really gonna shit in everyone's cornflakes on this one. I'm probably gonna, well, I know I'm going to. I'm gonna be explaining some things to you that you guys probably never thought of with this. Okay, Ushiro, Ryote Dori, or however you want to call it, Tekubi Dori, Ushiro, Tekubi Dori, Kubishimi. None of that shit works. Okay, it doesn't work. And if you guys understand how Ushiro techniques are, the whole uke standing in front of you, running up, grabbing your wrist, and coming around the back to grab your other wrist, that is so fucking unrealistic. I don't even know where to begin. That never happens in the real world. If you're gonna attack somebody from behind, it's usually an ambush. Nobody's ever gonna come up behind and grab your wrists. They're just gonna go straight for that bear hug, you know, behind you to basically subdue you from being able to move your arms. No one's gonna go grab your wrists, okay? I hate to tell you that, Aiki bunnies, but this shit is very unrealistic. No one's grabbing your wrists from behind. That is the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen in my life when it comes to Aikido technique, amongst probably about another 50 other dumb things with traditional Aikido, but that's right up there on the top of the list. The way how I see how Ushiro waza techniques work, it is from a failed kosa dori attack. Okay, because the initial attack is a kosa dori attack. Okay, it's when kosa dori fails, whether you're doing kosa dori nikyo or whatever it may be, it's when you fail to execute off of the kosa dori. It was unexpected, you were late in movement, whatever the case may be. If you got to, you know, do unura version from kosa dori, that's one way of getting out of that omote kosa dori technique. But the Ushiro waza techniques, the way how the uke runs and grabs onto your wrist and then you're moving, nobody's gonna slingshot around your body to grab your other wrist. No one's gonna slingshot around your body to grab you in a headlock. No one is gonna do that, period, okay? You can leave as many comments as you want, the people that think otherwise, but the bottom line is that does not work, period. It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. My interpretation from this is off of a failed kosa dori technique. And when it's a failed kosa dori technique, that is when you inadvertently, in a way, give them your back, which now creates Ushiro waza technique. So initially you're trying to execute a kosa dori technique, it fails, and you turn it into an Ushiro waza technique. So now there's something else that you have to be able to sit there and deal with. So originally you were dealing with kosa dori, didn't work. So now you are basically moving, putting yourself in a position where you're giving your back to the uke. That's when the uke would grab your wrist or grab you in kubishime from the traditional aspect of it. So now you have a whole new technique that you're gonna have to negotiate, okay? I have Bob Kamka here with me today. Hi, onegaishimasu. So when somebody goes to grab you with Ushiro waza, okay, or kosa dori, okay, and this is strong, that's gonna follow up with a punch to the face. And that's gonna be at lightning speed. So when they grab, here comes the punch, boom, okay? Don't do this fucking fag Aikido punch. Straight in like a fucking punch, dude. Boom, you're getting nailed. Super fast at that point. How do you defend against that? You try to move, the punch is gonna follow you. Plus, like I said before in the last video, most Aikido people have never been punched in the face, so they don't know what it feels like to get tagged. So they're gonna cover up because they're afraid. Okay? So when that happens and the punch comes, you're gonna be moving because it's gonna be unexpected, opposed to moving this way, being used to that. So you're obviously gonna try to get out of the way. So what essentially happens, he fucks with your kazushi because now you're kind of off balance trying to avoid being punched from the kosa dori, okay? So now, from the kosa dori, and you're transitioning this into Ushiro waza. So this is a failed kosa dori technique. So I tried to do nikyo. There's no technique resist, 100%. There's no nikyo. I mean, I can muscle this, but at that point, I'm getting jackhammered in the face. So I'm trying to escape this movement. So I'm going to turn with this, which is giving my back to the uke. At that point, now the opportunity creates itself to where he can grab onto my wrist. And then you can move into technique at that point and be able to do kotogaishi, sayonage, iriminage, kokyunage, shionage, whatever. Okay? It presents itself by that. You create this at this point to where you have something. Okay? To where you can do technique at that point. Whatever it may be. But when the resistance is 100%, okay, this 100%, this is going to be really hard to sit there and do. So I might have to try to turn out from this, even try to get the Nikyo. But it's going to be really hard to do that. Let's go to the other side. So he comes in 100% hard at this point, and I'm trying to do this. He's going to fuck up everything for me. All right? Was it bad, actually? Right here. This is going to be bad. So if I try to raise up, who's to say he doesn't put me inside headlock control at that point? And wham, starts punching me in the face. If he squeezes this into his body tight enough, look at where my arm's at. I'm going to have to come up here and try to stop him from hitting me. And he just starts tattooing my face with a left uppercut. One after another, after another, after another, after another. Can't escape it. No one in their right fucking mind is going to grab you and run around you to grab your wrist or to grab your head. No one's going to do that. It's not real. So why is it presented this way? Why don't these Aikido Shihan talk about this is a kosa dori technique that fails? You're turning to avoid being punched. By doing so, that is where Ushiro waza technique is created. Because now the uke can grab onto your wrist, they can grab onto your head, they can do all kinds of things. So that's where Ushiro waza, from my perspective, that's how that technique is born. Because it's straight kosa dori attack that's failed, that gets transitioned almost inadvertently by your movement, which creates the Ushiro waza technique. So now the uke can grab your wrist instead of this traditional way. I like the traditional way of this. Okay? That is bullshit. Again, this is bullshit. Okay? One more time. This whole thing is bullshit. Right? This is what everyone's used to practicing, right? Is this. Come on, people. You really buy into that? Because when there's full resistance, full resistance, boom. Now he has me. Nope, see, here's the side head control. Now I gotta stop this. Where is this in traditional Aikido? Where's the defense against this? Where is it? There is none. Because traditionally, Ushiro Kubishime is this. Go ahead, he grabs. How strong is this lock? It's never cinched to where if he puts his hand behind his neck, it's never done this way. It's right there. Let's make a fist. Squeeze. At that point, this is how technique will happen. Right? Because it's never locked. So no matter, he grabbed him. Grab. Yeah. How strong is this? He can cinch this, but the second I do this, then all of a sudden I'm doing this. Okay? This whole big movement, grab. Strong. This whole big movement of this, there's the Sankyo. Never had the choke. Choke is ineffective, it doesn't work. You can't choke somebody that way. Okay? Unless you're super fucking strong, this doesn't work. It's not realistic. It's not a realistic choke. Unless you start applying your hand to the back of your neck, which we have a separate technique for that choke, and you straighten your spine and lift your head back, then you're jacking up their chin and you're actually strangling them. Changes movement. Right? So Ushiro waza is bullshit, just for the simple fact that nobody chases you around. Okay, like if I was going with Bob, So traditional, nobody's gonna do this. No one's gonna do this. And even if they do, how easy is this to resist? This is easy to resist at this point. Okay? Technique, do something. Technique, do something. See, now it's becoming a struggle. It's a struggle the whole entire time. It's a struggle. He has this locked up, apply this a little bit more. He can possibly get an elbow lock on this, but guess what? So could I. So it doesn't work. So you can fuck around with this technique all day long and do this. Point where this happens to this happens, and you can keep moving with this and still mess with this, and it doesn't work. If it's complete resistance at this point, you know, now what? Now what? Doesn't work because you're resisting. It only works when this is done like this. That's it. It only works when the uke is compliant. But that's how it's taught. It's taught in this fashion, right? To where the person chases after you. But if you think about it as a failed kosa dori technique, and he comes and grabs strong. This guy has a death grip. Strong. And I'm trying to do this. I'm getting punched. This is going to be, if I'm getting hit, this is going to be hard for me to continuously focus on Nikyo. I'm getting punched in the face. Sooner or later, one of those punches might connect in the right spot. Temple, chin, boom, off switch. Now I'm taking a nap and I'm pissing myself because he knocked me the fuck out. So where's the value of that? Okay? This does not happen in the real world. Nobody comes up behind you and grabs this and you're doing this. Doesn't happen. Because when they grab you, this gets pulled back right away. How do you do this now? When your shoulders are jacked up to your ears, this is really hard. Ugh. Even dropping your weight, this is really hard. You actually have to time this, that the second somebody makes contact, okay? Second somebody makes contact, you're moving with this right away to where you can do technique. That is hard to do. Because unless you have eyes in the back of your head, you don't know that he's going to do that. Realistic Ushiro waza technique is a bear hug from behind. And it's not pretty. It's strong. It's strong. Oh, yes, it's strong. So now what? You're naturally going to hold on to this. Anyone in the right mind would. If I start doing this, it transitions right to a fucking headlock. And I get choked. If I even drop down to try to do something, he goes with me. He can step in front of me and turn his body to the right. Step, turn, oh shit. Down the ground I go. He puts me in chokehold. Where are you, Rob? Now I'm in trouble. Now granted, I got a little bit better of an upper hand because now I can eye gouge if I had to, or start pushing on his face, pressure point. Okay, but if he throws me from a hip toss on concrete, guess what? They're not 2-inch thick tatami mats. The concrete doesn't move for anybody. So when your fat ass hits the ground in the street, you're gonna get the wind knocked out of you, possibly break a rib. You're gonna be in a very uncomfortable position because God only knows what you're gonna land on that street. It could be a bunch of rocks, it could be glass, it could be anything for that point, okay? So if he throws you that way, and you're landing on concrete, guess what? There's no slap in the world that is gonna dissipate your fall when you're being hip tossed like that, especially by the head. That shit is gonna hurt, and it's gonna hurt for days. And then the follow-up is when he starts punching you in the face. Now you got a problem, okay? So these realistic attacks of Ushiro waza, the bear hug, for example, okay? Easiest way to get out of this is what we call the Elvis kick. Instantly see where his feet are, bring up your heel, kick to the groin. Even if you just graze this, he's gonna loosen up his grip to where you can move. Possibly get out of that, okay? Now granted, he just took a kemi, but in the real world, you break somebody's elbow at that point. Especially if you're in fear for your life. You're gonna apply technique, not the love, peace, and harmony way. You're gonna break somebody's arm. At least I'd hope to think that you would. Because anybody that attacks me like that, if I don't know who they are, and there's intent to cause bodily harm on me, I'm gonna break your arm and I'm going right to lunch. I'm not gonna care. Because your intention was to hurt me. I don't let anybody hurt me. And why should you? So in the Ushiro, when this grab happens, this is realistic. People do this. If they're strong, he picks you up and slams you right to the ground. Again, no mat in the real world. No Aikido technique either like that to defend against that. Because normally the bear hug happens and then the person is doing this. Then there's no headlock transition either because it's this in technique, whatever it may be. They only do that and they don't go any further. When you take it to that next level of that grab and you start doing this, it goes right to side head control. It can even be a neck crank where they crank on your jaw. That shit hurts right away. Your hands, remember, are underneath his. So you can't go, let me snake my hand underneath here. I'm gonna do some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu move. Doesn't work that way. Because the second that this breaks up, he's going, this is gonna be hard to do, to get your hand in there. And now he has my hand control. He has hand control on me. That was stupid. He grabs onto his jacket, grabs onto his gi, cinches that nice and tight. He can completely let go of this. Turn to your right. No, keep that there. Grab your gi, go back, grab your gi. Turn to your right. His body is gonna dislocate my elbow, especially does it very abruptly. There's an MMA video out with some Asian guy doing it to a white guy in an MMA fight and completely destroys his elbow. We talked about this before. Okay, it's a hijishime technique. But using that, grabbing and turning that body is gonna snap my elbow like that, no problem. So when you're thinking about the bear hug, you know, best thing to do at that point is see where his stance is at. Start kicking him into the groin area. You know, if you try to roll him off of your body, if he doesn't let go, you're going with. But this shit doesn't work because he goes for side head control. If he gets side head control, he's gonna punch you next. So once he does that, you better get in here and do an eye gouge of some sort really fast to get out of the technique. Otherwise, you're gonna be in a world of fucking hurt. So, you really gotta look at the whole big scheme of things when it comes to Ushiro waza techniques. It doesn't work, okay? Especially done the traditional way. It doesn't work. It starts off as a kosa dori. And if you don't get the kosa dori technique right away, whether it's nikyo, whether it's kosa dori, you know, iri nage, whatever, you know, kosa dori ra, in the nikyo, whatever, in the yubi dori, punch in the face, whatever, okay? Bob's moving with me because he knows that the technique's gonna hurt, okay? If it hurts, it works. If it doesn't hurt, it means that you're not applying properly, okay? Aiki bunny thing all over again, you know? Aiki bunny shit all over again. It has to work. If it doesn't work, okay, there's no point in training it. So you have to make sure that when this stuff happens, kosa dori, you're moving with this right away. Even with resistance, you're moving right away. He's moving with me to avoid injury. Realistically, it's grab, punch. Now I have problems. Grab, punch, strong. You know, now I got problems. Okay? You guys got to reevaluate the way how you do Ushiro waza technique. It's bullshit. One last thing. Somebody ambushes you from behind on Ushiro waza technique, they're normally going to shove you. Okay? He goes to shove. Boom. I'm probably going to fall forward. That leads into a whole different Aikido technique. Okay? It's an Ushiro waza attack, but it turns into something else. Okay? And that's a completely different video. And that shit I believe in, because that's how this particular technique should start off, not the way how it's done traditionally, which is garbage. So that's pretty much about it for Ushiro waza and Aikido, the way that doesn't work, episode part 3. Arigatou gozaimasu. If you liked the video, hit a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, hit a thumbs down. Leave a comment if you like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon right there on your right hand side of the screen so you get all notifications of our next videos. Check out the other videos that we have in Aikido, the way that doesn't work, in our little library thing, our shit, what the fuck? What? Playlist. Also check out the truth about Aikido, whether you like it or not. Check out that playlist as well because we got a couple good videos in that. Some of you guys that are out there gotten a lot of great responses. There's some people out there that still tend to bitch about my profanity that I use on the channel. Here's a cheat sheet for you. It's my fucking channel. Okay? It's not yours, it's mine. I use whatever language I want. If you don't want your kids seeing this, don't let them watch it. You don't see kids running around my dojo. You don't see me demonstrating with kids. This is about real Aikido and what works and what doesn't work for the traditional side. Okay? I'm not catering to kids here. This is for adults. So if my profanity hurts your fragile sensibilities, take your snowflake ass elsewhere and watch somebody else's channel on bullshit traditional Aikido. Okay? If you're here to learn and you're here to discover some things that you will not get anywhere else, then deal with it. Because I ain't changing for you or anyone else. This is the way how I present myself. If you don't like it, kick rocks. Otherwise, keep watching. You guys have been great. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Aikido, the way that doesn't work. Have a great weekend.